Massive day for the Melbourne Footy Club, the Pink Lady Day, of course, which they've made their own, and they're at their home ground against the Hawks, and Simon Goodwin, the coach, is good enough to join us. Goody, welcome to you.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Good to be on.
What's the focus been about this week? It's been a tough start, we all know that, but for you to get your review out of the way Monday and then focus during the week, what are the things Melbourne have got to do better today?
We probably started a couple of weeks ago and just trying to re-establish the things that we want to stand for, and that was around the contest and defensively. So, we've had 10 days to get organised and work on some things, which was great, after a short break heading into Richmond. So, they're the things we've been focusing on.
Hey, Goody, has that been a good thing, such a big break?
Yeah, look, it has been, Duck. Obviously, in the schedule we've had a couple of 6-day breaks in a row and then a 4-day break. So, chance to get some decent training in and really just try and realign a few of the things in the way that we want to play. And there were some signs last week, but we want to try and improve on them a bit further.
Now, I know you won't want to give excuses for your players because at the end of the day, we all know once you cross the white line, you're declared fit. Now, Tom McDonald went back in the last game. We know that. We know he's a good back, but you probably need him up forward. Where will he be today?
He'll play forward, Duck. Yeah, so obviously the week before was about breaking the cycle, about just being a forward for 5 weeks in a row and just being out of form. There was probably two options. It's either to put him back to the VFL or to change his position. And, we thought he contributed really strongly down back. But, even his training this week, he's really started to mark the ball again. And, we're looking for him to do that forward of the ball for us today.
One of the jobs you don't like, Goody, I imagine, is telling a player that he's not playing today, and you've done that with Wiedemann. What sort of stuff do you tell a player like that?
Pretty much he's a developing player. He's played 26 games, and I think for key forwards, probably not you, Duck, but it takes a long time to start to get some nourishment in the game. And for Sam, he's worked really hard on developing himself, and he's had a little bit of that. But with 26 games, we still see him as a big developing player, and it's really about going back to the VFL, get some confidence back in your game, and start marking the ball again.
So I know Christian Petrarca has trained twice since the incident in the pool at the MSAC on Tuesday, but it did seem reasonably eventful at the time. Were you there when he did have the troubles in the water?
No, I didn't. I saw him about 15 minutes later, but it wasn't at MSAC, it was at the club. So, he came down and said that he passed out. He was pretty buoyant about the whole thing, but he was, at the same time, it's a hypoxic training session, and, they are the risks when you do hypoxic swimming, and, it was well supervised by our high-performance team, and, Christian, tells a good story about it.
Hey, Goody, did you tell him that if he could just come up if he was out of breath?
He actually loves the hypoxic. He's been doing it for a while, and he gets quite competitive in that space. Yeah. So I think he's just going to pull the competitiveness back a little bit.
What do you make of the Hawks, Goody? 3 wins, a lot of structures there and systems.
Yeah, like all.
Billy.
It's a very deep question.
Yeah, like all teams, I think there's inconsistencies in a lot of teams about how they're playing, but fundamentally they're very strong ahead of the footy. They've got some speed ahead of the ball. They're very good inside their forward 50, and they're well structured behind the ball in terms of being able to lock their ball in their half. So. I think it's going to be a bit of a territory war, and our ability to defend our forward half is going to be really important.
You would have taken Hibberd and Martin 10 days ago, I reckon, Goody. It was a brave move, but he didn't have huge influence in the game. Is that something you're going to do with Michael Hibberd going forward?
No, look, Michael Hibberd will go back to halfback. He did a really good job for us. Hibbo, to his own call, hasn't got a massive tank, so playing in the midfield full-time might be a bit of a stretch for him, but to play on Dusty, I thought he did a great job.
Okay, so let's discuss that midfield thing. Really interesting. You had Clary Oliver start deep forward last week and Angus Brayshaw spat out onto the wing. Is that because you want to get more looks inside, or what will that happen again? What was your thinking?
Yeah, look, it's certainly an element of our game. We'd probably done the same thing for 5 weeks in a row with not much of a result. So it was really about changing it up and having a different look. And, we wanted to improve some of the things defensively. And we think Angus does a really good job for us defensively from a wing. So, he proved that against Richmond, that's a position that he does excel in. So that's something we'll continue to look at, as well as, obviously having his run through the inside. But, we want to get some more variety through the midfield. Jake Milksham will go through there again today, obviously without Jack Viney being in the team. That limits that a little bit further, but, we do want to get some more variety going through the inside.
Just before we let you go, Goody, I'm told that Lever is pretty well in full training. It's a month or two short of the 12-month period. When do you plan to enact him in the lower level, I would guess?
Yeah, look, round 10 will probably be around his time of coming back. You know, his training the other day was unbelievable, and just highlight again how much you miss a guy like that. You know, his voice, his communication. He dominated training on Wednesday, and you know, he's looking really good.
Hey, good. Harms had a fantastic year last year. A little bit of a slower year this year. Will you give him a job on O'Meara today?
Oh, look, that'll certainly be a watch for us. You know, he's in good form, Jago O'Meara. So, you know, Harms is up our sleeve when we need him. But, you know, James is slowly working his way back into some form.
Do you giggle at some of the white noise around Jordan Lewis, Goody? I would imagine that there's a specific role you want him to play. How well is he playing that, and how's he coping with what's being said about him?
Yeah, like I think he's coping well. You know, when you get to the back end of your career, you know that every game's important, and you're going to be critiqued on how you're performing. And he had a month out of the game where he had a hamstring and you know didn't play at all. And he came back in, played his first game, didn't play that well, and then had a 4-day break and come up again. So I think we just need to buy him some time to get himself into some really good form. And you know, he's a pretty determined character, Jordan.
Good luck today.
Thanks, guys.
Simon Goodwin, coach of the Melbourne Footy Club, and
Good on him coming on.
Oh yeah, he's a beauty.
He's honest, isn't he?
Bloody oath. Yeah.
And we just prefer he didn't blow as much smoke up Duck Freckle
Duck.
as he does, because Duck just, I mean, you've never seen a man then just, doesn't he just rise?
Just tenses up.
There,
Used to fish together, didn't you?
there I am.
Fish.
Yeah, didn't you go?
Yeah, no.
They get down there and they have the body off.
Don't they?
But that's good news on Lever. He really is in full training and going well. And as I say, I think, what did he say, round 10?
Round
Yeah.
10.
Where's May?
Who?
Steve May.
Oh, May.
So that will be
You
probably
just,
That could be
they
different.
reckon,
during the bye
May,
period.
you won't see May in May.
You won't.
I reckon in June you'll see May.
I can't believe you've gone with that stuff. You're going good today.
They will defend a lot better with those two.
Yes,
Yeah, they will.
They
No
will.
doubt about that.
But they don't want to make excuses.
No, they don't. But personnel is relevant, I reckon, to
Of course
teams
it is.
not going as
May
well as
Day.
they could do.